Pressure. All right, we're live now. Hi, everyone.
Hi. Hi,
Hi.
Ralph. Hi,
Hello,
Val.
guys. Good morning. Good morning to
Good
everyone watching us
morning.
right now. Good morning, world, wherever you are right now. We're so excited to start this episode because this episode is really designed to help people become more resilient and become more proactive nowadays. So I'm so excited because this episode, Shirley, my co-host, is having problems with her internet connection, but she's with us in spirit. I'm going to be having my fellow NBU fellow. We have here Val Salibio. Say hi, Val.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Ralph. Hi, Leona.
Okay, so
Hi.
Val actually is a hotelier here in Soxergen, and she's going to join us as we do this live meditation. And also, we're going to be there's more NBU fellows who will be joining us later on as we do a live meditation. So before we move forward, I'd like to introduce our guest speaker this morning. I love this woman because she is a true practitioner of yoga and mindfulness. She's actually now live in Siargao and she's helping us out. She's stuck there in paradise, which is, I wish I was also in the same situation, but she was supposed to do a retreat, leading other people, leading the group.
No,
However,
just
because of
teaching.
yes, teaching. However,
Yeah.
because of the current crisis, she's stuck there. But it's a beautiful kind of situation. I envy where you're at right now. To introduce her, she is actually the founder of Bodhi Yoga, and she's a yoga and meditation teacher, and she teaches Hatha, Vinyasa, and Yin Yoga. She's actually a person I know for quite some time now, ever since childhood. She's actually we belong in the same school, and now she's uh, true-blooded yoga and mindfulness teacher, and she's here to help us today. So if you're going to join us, guys, please send over questions para we can respond to it. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Miss Leona Dinopol live in Siargao.
Hi.
Hi,
Hi, good
Leona.
morning, guys. I'm Leona. How are you all? Thank you for tuning in today with us.
All right,
Hi, Val.
Leona.
Hi, Val. Hi, Shirley, if you're there. And hi to
Yes,
everyone who's with
Shirley's
us.
with us. Leona, how is it there? How's the situation there? How's the weather there like in Siargao?
Well, as you can tell, it's pretty dire here. It's a dire situation. Oh my God. No, just
Uh,
kidding. It's actually we're practicing community quarantine also, so I haven't left the place where I'm staying for like I think
hmm.
9 days now, and I think I got lucky because I get to stay in a beautiful place with a garden, a yoga studio, meditation hall, so I can still pretty much do my practices and
Right.
yeah,
Where are you
so
at right now? You're in Lotus Shores, correct?
yes, it's the place is called Lotus Shores. It's a yoga retreat here in Siargao. I was supposed to teach here from March 3 to March 31, but on March 14 they already announced that all the guests need to evacuate the island.
Right, right.
Hi,
Um,
Nell.
right now, also, we're having Nell joining us
Hello.
live. There you go. Hi, Nell, one of my favorite humans. There you go. Nell
Hello.
is
Speechless
actually
ako.
one of our NB volunteers. She's been with us for 2 years straight, and she's here with us as she joins this meditation session. So let me start, Leona. No?
Sige.
Right now we have this mindfulness is such a uh, uh, now it's very widespread. But there's
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people still who are not yet clear about the definition or what mindfulness is all about. And later on, we will link this with what's happening now. Pero let's muna, define what is mindfulness for you.
Mindfulness is actually a practice wherein you stay with the present moment and you don't allow any external factors to disturb your peace. Basically, you are aware and you acknowledge whatever is happening in front of you, whatever is going on in front of you. But deep within you, you still know where you are. You're still anchored. You're still grounded, and you are able to react, or not react, respond with intention and respond with love and kindness and compassion. And that for me is the beautiful thing about mindfulness.
Yes, I love mindfulness very much. It's so feel good, um,
Uh-huh.
and it's a practice everyone can do. Correct.
Everyone, even children, adults, whatever your profession, your race, your religion, it doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are, whatever gender, it is all encompassing. It's a universal practice, and I believe that everyone should at least know the basics of mindfulness in order to live a more, peaceful life.
True. Why do you think mindfulness is important?
It's important because it lets you become anchored to who you really are. You get to know what is meaningful to you, and you get to respond in a way that is also meaningful, that is intentional. You don't just react out of um, your reflexes or out of your emotions, but
Right.
because there is an actual response that would be more productive and more peaceful.
True. I like that very much when you said that we can be more intentional. So, uh, when we start the day kasi, diba, what we do is we are in this, there we go. We have Miranda joining us, Shikina. There you go. Um, okay, going back. There you
Sige.
go. She's ready na. Shikina is ready na for her meditation. Um, Okay, so when we start a day kasi, most of us, 'di ba, we're a little ano pa, parang ngarag pa, we're still finding our way to make that coffee, and uh we are somehow in default mode. So what
Mhm.
happens is we do default activities. Whatever we
Yes, on
us to do,
autopilot.
naka-autopilot tayo. And when that happens, if we are not intentional and if we become autopilot for a long time, nasasayang yung oras. When we can become more intentional. How can we become more intentional in how we design our days, Leona?
Well, first of all, you have to recognize what gives you your life meaning. What is meaningful to you? What activities are meaningful to you? And then you set an intention that whatever you do, it has to be something that adds value to your life. Whatever you consume, whatever you watch, whatever activities that you partake, it has to make a difference in your life.
Yes,
Kumbaga, parang even the mere act of trying to entertain yourself with videos or with Netflix, it has to be something that is really intentional. It adds value, and you have to create that value in your life. Otherwise, you'll be on autopilot, and then it will be too late when you realize that what am I doing with my life, diba?
so you
So
mean
sayang naman.
when you start the day, start becoming intentional. How do you start becoming intentional? Do you do it with your meditation practice?
Uh, it actually has the foundation of self awareness.
Right.
We start everything with self awareness. And in my practice, I started cultivating the practice of self awareness by awareness of the breath. Sorry, awareness of the breath. So
Right.
in my meditation practice, I was taught that your understanding of the world or your knowledge of the world comes from your direct experience. And what is your constant direct experience? It is your breath. It is the first thing that changes when your emotions change, when your health changes, the breath also changes, right?
Right. That's true.
So, yes, so when you become more intentional with the way you breathe, you catch yourself at that moment when you are having an emotion that you don't necessarily need. For example, anger or despair, these emotions that you can process it. Not naman na you forget about it, but you're able to process it in a more meaningful way. So when you are aware of your breath, you will notice it before you do something out of reflex, you do something out of reaction na hindi mo pinag-isipan. But
Yes.
when you become aware of your breath, you know how to respond in a more mindful way.
Wow, I like that very much, no? Yung when you say managing your breath, being aware of your breath. Why is breathing a very basic thing we do.
It's
We
a
breathe.
very basic thing we do, right?
Right, it's as the essence of life. It's how we live. We breathe. If you don't breathe, you die. But you say right now that
Yeah.
if you're more aware of your breathing, it's more helpful. Why is
Ye-
breathing important?
Yes, kasi from the day we were born until our very last day on earth,
Mm.
we've been breathing and we will continue to breathe. And it's something that we don't even have to think about. Okay, so breathing is a reflex. Even if we're not aware of it, we're breathing. But it's also the first thing that changes when you have a change in emotions, when you have a change in your health, your
Oh,
breath changes. So how do you notice? How is your breath when you're upset? How is your breath when you're angry? How is your breath when you're relaxed? Okay, so answer that question, Ralph.
oh.
How do you breathe when you're relaxed?
When I'm relaxed, I breathe
Yes,
steadily
po.
and deeply.
When you're
However,
angry, how do you breathe?
I think with spikes.
'Di ba? It's fast, it's shallow. So our breath is designed, we take in oxygen and then we relax. When we breathe deeply and when we exhale long and
Yes,
deep, it actually activates our parasympathetic nervous system, which is our rest and digest response. When we breathe shallow and fast, it activates our fight or flight response.
true, true.
So,
Wow, that's
yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, so when we have harnessed the power of our breath to calm us down, then at that moment when you feel your emotions spiking, you catch it early on and then you manage it with your breath before you respond to the situation, then that will really solve or that will really prevent a lot of problems for you later on.
Okay, so for example now, kunyari, we are always exposed with this updates about the crisis that we're facing. So I think for the past 2 weeks, we've been in overdrive of negative information. And kinakabahan tayo. For example, I catch myself na kinakabahan. Like, oh my God, is it happening na
Anxious.
sa city? And meron na ba ditong casualties? Or meron na ba mga PUIs dito sa city? Baka dito na sa labas, baka dito lang sa subdivision namin, o baka nandito na yun when I'm going to the grocery, and then when I receive the sukle, baka nandito na siya. So if I am if I'm scared or fearful, how can I change my breathing?
So, are you saying you're in a constant state of panic?
I think everybody is right now. I think we're all like a frightened family that is a little scared right now. So how
Oh, well, first of all, your feelings of fear and uncertainty are valid. Okay. So you don't discount that from the human experience. It's completely okay to be afraid. It's okay to be anxious. It's okay to fear the unknown.
wow.
So once you recognize that, then you accept it as a part of the human experience na, oo naman, nakakatakot naman. It's a pandemic. Of course, we'll be scared. But, and then you just acknowledge it. You acknowledge it. It starts with acknowledgement. And then you become more aware of your actions. Like, okay, so what steps can I take for me to, let's say, prevent contracting the disease? Okay, I should wash my hands. I should practice social distancing. I should stay at home and be quarantined, avoid public gatherings. You know that already. And the fact that you're practicing that, it should give you some sort of relief already. So yeah, and if you're in a constant state of panic and are always consuming the things that you don't necessarily know what to do with, like the numbers keep rising and rising, and we know that it's rising, but why do we need to know? We were already asked to stay at home and avoid public gatherings so that we don't get the disease.
True.
Without, of course, discounting that there are people who are working on the front lines, and we also acknowledge that and be grateful for that, and because of them we can stay home.
Right.
So so ayun, you you have to recognize that the information that we have right now, everything that we know is all we need to know already. I
Right.
mean, what else should we know, diba?
That's true.
The
It can
fact that
also
we're having this Zoom conversation, the fact that we are meeting with our computers and all of that, it means that we have the ability to stay at home. So
That's true. It can also help you with your sanity, right? That
mhm,
if we focus on the good stuff, pero first you acknowledge what's happening.
you
You don't
acknowledge it.
happening.
You don't discount it. You don't shower yourself with false positivity, because
True.
this is real, and you don't want to take away that experience from the people who are directly affected by it. We are directly affected by it, and
That's
it's
true.
a difficult time. It's a scary time.
And by fully allowing this experience, you now generate the right emotions, and then you get to choose
You get
the
to address
emotion
it.
to address it
Yes,
properly. That's
yes, you get to choose how you respond to it,
that's true.
instead of,
That's true.
yeah, instead of acting out of fear or out of panic. You act out of mindfulness, and you merit a more intentional response, if that
True.
makes sense.
We
We
also
have here participants. We have here Val and Nell who have I know have questions right now. They're also going through the same kind of panic. I know we are all in a sense of panic the past 2 weeks. Val, do you have anything na you'd like to ask regarding mindfulness or how to really protect your peace nowadays?
Yeah, actually, you were talking about being intentional earlier, and I would like to ask more on that topic. Say, it's like you're saying that being intentional, you have to be mindful of your decisions or of your choices, right?
Yes,
In the basic sense, parang ganun yung point ng intentional kind of living.
yes,
And sometimes 'di ba maraming mga with the social media or the advent of information, it's everywhere. So 'di ba sometimes we get distracted as to ito yung ito yung sinabi nung isang news or isang information, and then ito naman sa kabila. So how will you live how will you make the right choices, parang ganyan, and to live more right na intentional kind of living.
so again, I would recommend practicing self-awareness with the breath, and then you have to really anchor yourself on the values that you have. So the values can be different for different people, and these sets of values will determine what gives your life meaning. And I know this sounds like a Hallmark card or whatever, but it's really useful when you think about it. You have to practice self-awareness and recognize what your needs are, and make sure that your needs are met, so that you don't spiral when you see something
Mhm.
negative, but instead you get to choose paano ka magre-respond, paano kang hindi hindi mag ad hominem, or you're just attacking that person for the sake of attacking that person, for the sake of being in an argument, instead of like having a
Mhm.
productive conversation and making solutions, right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
yeah, you recognize your needs, you meet your needs, and then it will help you become more stable physically. You have to be healthy, mentally or emotionally. You have to be surrounded by a good support system, and then yeah, mentally you have to recognize what is ticking you off, and maybe try to lessen consumption of the things that tick you off.
And
That
I think that's perfect now kasi we have this time sa quarantine. We have so much time to be
so
with
much time.
ourselves. And I think siguro that's one of the things that I will be practicing in the coming days. Becoming more self-aware. Now that
Self-awareness is the
sometimes
foundation of it all.
right. That's good. That's good to hear.
Okay, thank you, Val. That's true. By becoming more self-aware, we get to better control our lives and make better decisions. We have here Nell, who's also an NBU fellow. Hi, Nell. Good morning.
Hi,
Morning.
Nell. Good morning.
How are you in Las Piñas?
Well,
Sumisipon ka
actually,
ba?
Topic na yan.
ano, normal sa akin to. I have allergies, so
Allergies.
Okay,
one of
okay.
the vulnerables. Joke. Anyway, Yun yung isa sa anxiety attacks na nararanasan ko ngayon because me and my family, we have respiratory problems na wala pa yung COVID. And the reason why literally I'm being paranoid with even touching surfaces right now because I've lost a friend with from with this fight.
Oh,
So
I'm
Is
yeah,
so
he a
sorry
doctor
to
in the
hear that.
frontline or he was infected as a
he was infected at work. He's in logistics. Actually, husband siya ng kumari ko. But of course, we were also friends as we get along with our lives na.
okay.
And it was shocking because I thought he was just in the ICU for the underlying condition that he has. He has kidney problems kasi. So when I learned the reason is because of COVID, yun, lalong yung i-relax ko yung utak ko from the day na nag-start yung news. Pero when it hits home, it's parang you were pushed and you just fell and you don't know how to, spring back. Pero for the family, you have to be able to, you know, show the strong persona always. So ito yung gusto ko malaman. Paano yung mga kagaya natin na we are forced to show we are strong, but deep inside, you're
You're
actually
grieving.
holding on na lang into a very thin thread because marami na rin nangyayari sa paligid na we don't want to aggravate pa, we don't want to add up to the chaos, but deep inside you're already fighting something. Yes, I know we've learned from Coach Leona. The answer is to step back, to think of the moment first, but sometimes it's crippling eh. So, yun yung gusto ko malaman. At that moment, at that one click, what is the best way, best thing we can do? Yung bigla kang na-hit, and what can you do on that moment para hindi ka mag-spiral?
Yeah, I understand. I'm so sorry for your loss. So right now you are in that stage of grieving your friend that you've lost in this horrible, horrible fight. Uh, Again, I would go back to the practice of self-awareness. And it's good. You are self-aware that you are grieving and that you have these feelings in your heart. Then the next step would be to process these feelings. You don't need to hide it. You can accept it as part of the present moment that, okay, this is how I feel right now. And then you take the steps necessary so that you can heal yourself. And I, for healing, I would say that only time can tell how long it will take. But I do know that although denial is part of the process, I hope you move on. You've moved on fairly fast enough from denial, and then the next stage is anger, right? Like the 5 stages of grief. You go through all those stages, and then eventually you find acceptance. But really, you just learn to live with it and make sure that you don't spiral. You anchor yourself in what you find meaningful. Perhaps it's your family, perhaps it's the other friends that you have left, and then you look at what's left of your life after that grief, and you will see that there is still so much more to live for, and that you have to accept that change is a part of nature and the universe as it is. Like the only thing that's permanent is change, as they say. And this is a very unfortunate change. And I hope you find the strong support that you need emotionally and mentally, because you don't have to go through this alone. I think it's really important that you have a strong support system to help you with it. And and it's good that you're already recognizing within yourself that this is how you feel. There is absolutely no shame in admitting that, yes, I am suffering, I am grieving, I am sad, I am yeah, I am trying to get
Knowledge.
acknowledgement. Acknowledgement is really important because you cannot address a problem if you don't acknowledge that there is a problem. And the good thing is that you have a strong support system within the NBU community and within your family and within your group of friends. And I can see that from the way that you've been part of my life. I can see that you're not gonna walk this path alone.
Nell,
Really worried about my friend actually because she's in isolation also, the wife. So that's actually the big part of the process. How can you help when you yourself is helpless? So maybe I can
You can
share
reach
this.
out to her as well. Technology is always there.
Yeah,
We've been very
I will
blessed to have
call.
technology on
Maybe.
our side. Yes.
okay,
Thank you.
Nell,
Thank you for sharing.
about what happened also. And I know that you can be able to overcome this. I agree with Leona that these are all part of the human experience. And this is also happening with a lot of families right now. So whatever you guys are going through, if in your family or in your extended family, some of you are being hit by COVID, it's important as well not to judge the person who are going through that. It's important that in these times we practice compassion, and that's I think what's great about mindfulness is that compassion is the dominating spirit. Acknowledgement
Yes.
is always the first step, and then how can we prevail from this situation where we, the best of us, can prevail so that we can respond to this properly and that we can also extend what we're feeling, what we're going through, how we're coping to other people so that they can as well be able to thrive in these times. So thank you very much, Nell, for sharing this.
Thank
Nell
you for
and Val
sharing.
and some of our NBU fellows are going to join us in a live session, which we're going to do in a few minutes. I'm excited about that. Are you guys excited about the live meditation session?
Yeah. I'm excited. I'm leading it.
We are excited. And may tanong ako, Leona, nowadays,
Yes.
we are always with ourselves. Okay? Kasi
Mm-hmm. Because we're in isolation.
yes, dito sa bahay namin sa Jensen, ako lang mag-isa sa bahay. So parang feel ko sa kulungan ako. Though I can go out, pero by night, by 8 p.m., I cannot go out anymore. A lot of people are actually, especially extroverts. I saw some messages coming from my extrovert friends na they are having a hard time with this kasi they're designed to interact with other people. They gain energy by exchanging, by having exchange, by communicating to other people. Now that they're left alone, or they're with their family, but it's the same people you are with for the past 2 weeks already, and you wanted to know, and there are people who are looking for ways that they can live with themselves. How can they do that?
Well, first we have to understand that we are social creatures and we do need that human interaction. So if you live alone, it would be nice if you have several group chats that you're a part of and that you can keep up with your friends and your family. Another thing that we have to understand is that in this modern society, we've been bombarded by information, by media, a million infos per second, and we just have forgotten how to live with silence, basically. So now we're kind of relearning that when in fact, you know, when we were inside our mother's wombs, all we can hear was her heartbeat, and that was enough for us. But as we grow older, like I need to bombard myself with distractions so that I don't have to deal with myself,
Yes.
because I have my own demons that I don't want to face. Well, guess what? This is the perfect time for us to just be able to process that, all of the unhealed trauma, all of the emotions that we haven't necessarily addressed in these last few years of our adult lives, what made us damaged, what made us who we are. We have to
Yeah,
process that and release all of that unhealed experiences.
that's
Because if
true.
we, yeah, because if we don't process that, you're gonna spiral eventually, and you're gonna do things. It will manifest in unhealthy ways. So we have to recognize it before it becomes damaging to our psyche.
That's true. That's true. And it is actually part of growth. If you can see the situation as a way for growth, for you to evolve, you will allow this experience. I know it's hard. Ako mismo, even though I'm an introvert, and I know a lot of you will not agree, uh, even though if I'm an introvert, I still long for more connections, no? Pero I
Of
got
course,
to
tao ka eh.
that's true. I get to to somehow understand myself, how I can relate to my environment given these times. How can I enjoy the company of my own self? How can I, balance all of this? And I think that's a great opportunity for us to grow. These times is a perfect opportunity for us to grow.
Yeah, we can go deep within
That's true. In
and
2 minutes, we are
explore.
going to start this meditation session. We have here, if sa mga ano natin, sa mga kasama natin, we have a lot of familiar faces who's watching us right now. Divine, hi Divine, she's watching right now. Jean
Hi,
Choi,
Divine.
Garrett, Adelaine, Nora, Ariel, Shirley, Jules. Hi Jules, pare, how are you? He's a fellow as well in Future Shapers. Danielle, Hilaria, John, Val, Richie, Shirley, Francis, Gok Gok, a lot of you guys who's watching us right now. Thank you very much for joining us. Malapit na tayo mag-live session. Pero I have another question. Give us quick strategies, Leona. I know you have a lot of ideas. How can we be resilient nowadays? How can we protect our peace? Anything na direct to the point, bullet points. What can we do that we can apply right away for us to have a more positive mindset nowadays?
Okay, so first is you have to remove yourself from situations that you know is going to tick you off. So if you have that capacity, then by all means apply all methods that you can to remove yourself from something that is, upsetting you, that you don't necessarily need. You have to practice self-awareness again by the breath, which I will teach you later on. This is my favorite meditation technique and my favorite mindfulness technique. I will teach you that later on. Um, uh, to cultivate more mindfulness within ourselves, no matter what we're doing, whatever activities we're doing with our families or with ourselves, you have to do it with all intention and all focus because that's also what in mind. And then, yeah, that's. Oh, and we have a lot of resources available to us for free on YouTube. So if you need something that would guide you in meditation or breathing or yoga or whatever self-care exercise that you fancy, then you can just go to YouTube or Facebook. There's so many free resources out there. If you want, you can message me and ask me what those are. I can give you maybe a playlist on Spotify, the meditation playlist that I use, the podcasts that I use for my child before she goes to bed. It's really helpful.
That's good. I like that very much. You can apply that right away, guys.
Yeah.
What I got from your strategies, Buding, no, is or
Mhm.
Leona. Her nickname kasi is Buding, and I call her in a more personal, in a more personal approach. Um, self-care. Self-care is what we can do during these times.
Right away, right?
That's a
Right
good
away. Stay
perspective.
healthy.
Stay at home and self-care. Do a lot of self-care. Um,
Yeah.
take care of yourself, nourish your mind, nourish your relationships. And I think that's a great way for us to approach this situation we're in right now.
If you
You can
have, yeah.
you can light up the candles. You can make a beautiful, what they call this shake, a nutritional shake.
Eat
What
a
else?
vegetable.
Eat more vegetables. This is time for
Sleep.
self care, guys, and I love that. I love that mindset.
Self
So
care. Yeah.
everyone, we're gonna do this meditation session that we've been talking about earlier. And I'm ready. Are you guys ready? Are you guys, Val, are you ready?
Yes, we are ready.
Yes. Live in Jansan. How about you, Nell? Live in Las Piñas. Are you ready? She's ready. Ayan. And we have here Shikina. Hi, Shikina. Wave, wave. Ayan, Shikina is also a fellow in NBU and she's also in Jansan. And Shirley is with us as well. I don't know if she can go live, but so I can.
Yay, she's
Hey
here.
guys!
Hi,
Hi,
Shirley.
Shirley.
Hi, host.
Yeah.
I'll be joining you later. But now, video muna. Para
Sige.
safe ng internet.
Oo. So,
Here.
eto na. Miss ka na namin, Shirley.
Very what?
Hopefully, maging okay na siya tomorrow so I can join you live. I can still join you.
Oo. Sige lang, we will do another meditation soon and we'd love to have you. Sige, let's have Buding start this. Buding, Miss Leona Dinopol, let's start the meditation session.
Live in Siargao. Okay, so whenever you're ready, just find your most comfortable seated position. You can be on a chair or you can sit on the floor with your legs crossed. Make sure that your spine is straight, pushing the sternum forward, but not putting too much pressure on the lower back. Try to roll the shoulders back and relax. You can rest your hands on your knees or your lap. You may close your eyes if you wish, or you can just watch the beautiful face of Ralph. And then for a moment, just acknowledge the silence and acknowledge the sensations that you have in your body. Begin to acknowledge the sounds that you hear from whichever room you're in. And then slowly try to shift that awareness to your own body. And try to scan your awareness from the tips of your toes all the way up to the crown of your head and continue this process. Just scanning from the toes to the feet. How do you feel? Your ankles, your legs, your knees, your thighs, your hips, your chest, your stomach, your back, your shoulders, your neck, your head. And then from your head, again, scan your awareness going all the way down. And so this is one good exercise to just practice, to start or to set off your practice of self-awareness. How do you feel within yourself physically right now at this moment? What sensations are there? Scan your awareness from your feet to your head. Is there any sort of pain or tightness, any tension that you're feeling? Try to relax your shoulders, maybe. Relax your neck. Soften your jaw, soften your eyes. And finally, soften the breath. So I really like teaching breath awareness because it's a very easy tool to use to help us regulate our emotions and to help us give a regulated and a mindful response to any situation that we're facing. Primarily because the breath is always there. It's been there from the day of birth until the day that we pass on from this life. Our breath is something that we can use to anchor ourselves, so it's important to harness its power. When we're feeling emotional, when we're feeling perhaps angry or tired, the breath becomes fast and shallow. But when we are in a calm and peaceful state, our breath becomes relaxed and deep. So we can actually hack the brain to invoke feelings of calm and peace by breathing deeply and mindfully. So now I want you to bring your awareness to the tips of your nostrils and then try to inhale as deeply and as slowly as you can without forcing yourself. Just allow your breath to flow. Long inhale. And then try to slow down your exhales as well. Long inhale and slow exhale. So before you take another breath, make sure you release all of the air out first. And then repeat the process of long inhalations and slow exhalations. Now you may find comfort in listening to the sound of your breath, feeling that vibration at the back of your throat as the breath comes in and as it moves out. For some of you, if this is your first time practicing deep breathing, you might experience some tightness around the chest area. That's quite normal because around or in between the rib cage, we have muscles. And if those muscles are not flexible enough, then you will definitely feel the stretch. So just keep breathing deeply and allow your muscles to acclimate to the stretch of the ribs. So feel your chest expanding as you inhale. And feel the belly contracting as you exhale. So now I want you to really acknowledge where your breath is going as far as your physical body is concerned. Is your breath going more towards the chest or is it going down more towards the belly? So without controlling anything, if you need more awareness, you can place your right hand on your chest and your left hand on your belly and just notice. This is an exercise of subtle awareness. So we're just trying to identify where the energy is going and where it's coming from in the form of the breath. So right now I can feel that it's my belly is expanding more than my chest. If you get distracted by outside noises, just bring your awareness back to your breath and try to really focus on where the breath is going. Is it more to the belly or more to the chest? Focus, Ralph. Inhale deeply. Exhale completely. Is your chest moving to the belly or is it moving to the chest or both at the same time? There's no right or wrong answer. It's just the way you are. Now focus on your exhales, the way you breathe out, and try to do it as slowly as you can. And notice how your mindset or how your thoughts change as you breathe out slowly. So in breathing out slowly, you are activating a center of the brain, a center of the nervous system that allows us to rest and digest. So we have to remember that when we start feeling anxious, when we're on the verge of panic, before we hit the ceiling, we have to remember to anchor ourselves with a breath. Taking a breath in deeply and taking a breath out completely. Slow, complete exhales. Remember that this is a practice you can do at any time, wherever you are, when you're stuck in traffic, when you're faced with a rude person, maybe, or when you're faced with a news article that you don't necessarily agree with, you can always check in with your breath before you respond. Identify what gives you meaning. Identify where you are in the midst of all this panic. Identify and recognize who you are and what is a genuine response coming from you. So when you're there sitting in silence, it's normal to feel fidgety. It does take time and practice to be comfortable with your own breath. So that's perfectly normal. Again, you come back and anchor yourself to your breath. They say that experience is the best teacher, and your breath is your constant experience. So when you befriend your breath, you start to befriend your emotions. You start to befriend your responses. You start to become your own best friend. And then you start becoming comfortable with your own self. You become comfortable with the silence. You don't need to bombard yourself with distractions all the time. Only you and your breath. And the sooner you recognize this, the more powerful your practice will become. So now you can relax your breath and come back to the present moment. Remember, as we close today's practice, that your breath is your number one tool for peace, inner peace, your number one tool to keep yourself sane in isolation, in quarantine. Your breath is a thing that is always there, and you can always rely on your breath. Remember to always come home to it, wherever you are, whatever you do. Awareness of the breath is awareness of the self. Thank you. You can now open your eyes. How was it? How are you feeling? How is everyone feeling? Everyone's on mute, I think.
Feels
I
good.
feel relaxed. That's number one. And
Really?
now that's why I'm talking so slow.
Mhm. Yeah,
Really peaceful. Thank you for that,
you're
Leona.
welcome. It's my
There's
absolute
something rolled
pleasure.
down my back.
Yeah. So yeah, this is the number one tool that I teach in meditation. It's always the power of your breath. Your breath has the power to soothe you. Your breath has the power to agitate you. Your breath has the power to activate your energies. So if you know how to harness that, then you're well on your way.
Wow, I love it. How about you, Nell? How do you feel? You feel that there's a weight that rolled off from your back.
Yeah. Parang kanina, it's really, really heavy after the the exercise. Feel lighter.
It's interesting to know, no, that breathing alone can actually improve your condition.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Dahil
do believe so. Out of experience, I believe so.
when I love it when you said earlier that when you befriend your breathing, you get to also befriend your emotion. So a different kind of state where we're only a breathing uh, strategy or tactic away from having a different condition, which I like.
Yeah.
How
Bursting.
about you? How do you feel?
Same, relaxed and calm. I was listening to Leona the whole time, and she was saying about yung teacher. You mentioned like your
Experience is the best teacher,
and
and your
breathing.
breath is your constant experience.
Yeah, and
It
yeah,
holds so much wisdom.
yes, yes. It struck on me, and it feels good to hear that, and it brings me
Thank
back
you.
to basic, which is yun. And it's okay, kaya natin tong quarantine na to, and everything
Kaya
that
natin.
kaya natin.
Yeah. Yeah. We're so lucky we have this support group, you know. I'm really thankful that I have you guys. Thank you so much.
I
Thank
think,
you. That's all I can
oh,
say. Thank you.
Same,
Oh,
same feeling.
It's
yeah.
good.
Thank
Ngayon,
you.
ako, dahil sa sobrang relax na ako, medyo slow na ako para mag-walk around the
oh,
house.
diba?
Yeah. And there's
Wow.
this episode.
Imagine you're feeling that way all the time.
Parang may kakaibang high ba, Raz?
Oo. Iba yung aking energy. Ano na siya, normalize.
Dahil din sa voice ni Leona, how she's
Actually, your voice, Lee,
Actually,
it's very soothing.
totoo
yeah.
Thank
yan.
you. Thank
Leona,
you.
I'm interested to know more about what you're doing. I'm interested to listen to more of your meditation. How can we find you? Should we want to make this a practice?
You can find me on Facebook. I have my Facebook page, Leona Dinopol. I post there my yoga classes. I post videos of me teaching yoga, teaching meditation, teaching breathing. So if you need access to that, just go to facebook.com/Leona Dinopol or just search Leona Dinopol. It's
Okay,
all
guys.
there.
Ang Leona
You
Dinopol.
can
Ito
message.
niyo siya, guys.
Yeah, Leon. Yes, you can message me if you need support, emotional support, or wag lang financial kasi medyo wala tayong trabaho ngayon.
Oo. Medyo,
But yeah, you can message me if you need guidance on meditation, on breathing, on yoga. I am here for you. Definitely.
true.
You can
True.
also
Actually,
email me. Yeah.
she's
Yeah.
very, very good in yoga as well. She's actually one of the pioneering teachers here in Jensen. And she's
Mm.
able to help develop a lot of yogis. So if you want to know more about yoga, please do check her page and contact her. She's an amazing teacher. You'll really feel yung kanyang mga sessions are really, really good. And I really appreciate that you're keep on doing this. You've been doing this for the past 8 years. Am I correct?
7, yeah.
7, almost 8. Malapit na. So, guys, what did you learn
Yeah.
today? How about you, Nell? What did you learn today?
There's always time for yourself. Always give yourself some space so that you'll be able to go back to your reality, not the chaos, just your reality.
I like that very much. There's always time for us to meditate. There's always time for us, for ourselves. Because actually, when you meditate, you add more time, I think, right? Because you know what to do and you
You
know what's
pause.
most meaningful. Yes, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Thank you
important.
very much for that, Nell. Namaste. How about you, Val?
It's really on the idea of self-awareness and meditation. Being intentional and choosing the fact na I chose to join this meditation, and it only validates na I really wanted to be here. I really want to be more present in the moment because with everything that's happening, the all this stimulus coming from the negative
Yes.
energy and news or whatever it is, it's good to be here and to find myself again where there's true peace inside. And at the end of the day, that's what I want. That's what we all want. So
Yes.
let's practice more of these things.
Wow,
Yeah.
I love that answer. I reiterate this. I know we're a meditation away. I'll say this. From my own personal recommendations, doing prayers truly helps. You're guided by our God. God will give you the hope and the courage to move on. And meditation is a great tool for you to protect your peace. It all works together to provide to give you this great attitude for us to face this crisis with much more positivity and with much more intention. Correct,
Yes.
guys? Tama ba?
Yes.
Yes. I like to say, yeah, I like to say that when we pray, we are talking to God. And when we're meditating, we're listening to what God or the universe has to say back to us.
Wow, that's so true because it's only when we're at ourselves and we're at peace that we can really hear the messages. We really hear
Yes.
him
With
more and
clarity.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like we're saying
Yes.
what we need. Okay. When we pray, we say what we need and how we offer veneration to the deity that we believe in. And then when we meditate, we listen what is needed from us, what is
that's
needed of us.
I like that insight very much, Buding. Kasi
Yeah.
I actually feel that when I'm at peace and when I'm doing meditation, I get to the point where I also get to imagine new things, download new information, download his messages, like what he
Yeah.
wants for me to do.
Diba?
And
Kumbaga, when you're praying, you're uploading or you're sending a message. And when you're meditating, you're receiving a message back.
wow, that's a powerful insight. And it's a powerful message for us to wrap up this episode that we have
Yes.
that
Thank
we're
you
doing
so
right now.
much.
Thank you very much to everyone who's joining us. Guys, this is such a powerful episode. I hope this helps everyone out there watching us right now. And even after this live, you guys get to check this again. I hope that this get to help you. You can skip right away and go to the meditation part. You can do this every single day and listen more of Leona. You can go to her page. Diba? Recycle
Or
lang
you
ba?
can call me.
Or they can contact you should they want to have
Yes,
a private discussion
definitely.
with.
Definitely.
Thank you very much, Leona. Namaste.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Thank you, Ralph.
Take
Thank you,
care of
everyone.
her.
Thank you, Val, Nell, Shirley, Shikaina, everyone who's joining us here today. Thank you so
Sabi
much.
ko na nga ba kailangan ko to eh.
You can contact me anytime, Nell. You know that.
Yeah.
Here, I'm here.
All right. So
Thank
thank you
you.
very much, guys. That is another episode of Bold Moments. I'm so thankful for Leona for being with us. I hope that you guys get to learn new ideas, new tactics, new insight, new strategies that you can apply to your life so that you can be right now. I know that you're feeling stressed. Right now, I know you're feeling a lot of fears, and that is okay. By acknowledging what is happening, you get to know later on how you can better approach the problem by
Yes.
mindfulness. If we practice mindfulness in our lives daily, we get to find the peace that we're looking for. Because I know that this current signals that we're having right now might be a little scary at times, but you're always a breathing tactic, breathing strategy. You're always a meditation away and a prayer away from having a different state. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you all. NBU loves. I love you guys. Thank you very much. Thank you very
Thank you.
much,
Thank you.
Buding, for this. And that's it, guys. Thank you very much and bye.
Bye.
Bye.